The year was 1914 and our country was at war. The Germans had invaded Belgium and France, and the British Army were over there fighting them. Tens of thousands of men had volunteered to join up.
When the First World War began in August 1914, many people in Britain believed that it would be over by Christmas. The army was keen to send as many men as possible to war, as they believed that large numbers of soldiers would win them a speedy victory. This meant that they needed ordinary men as well as professional soldiers. In order to encourage men to join up, the army promised they could fight alongside their friends and neighbours. Local battalions were formed in many towns, villages and cities, sometimes more than one. 1,500 men joined up in Liverpool in just 2 days, for example. Other battalions were formed from men who worked in the same job, like the stockbroker battalions or the artists' rifles. Today, footballers can earn huge salaries and become famous all over the world. Back in 1914, the idea of playing sport for money was quite new. One of the young footballers who managed to sign a contract as a professional player was Jack Cock. Jack was born in Cornwall in 1893. In 1914, he signed to Huddersfield Town and made his professional debut, but the First World War soon got in the way of his football dreams.
As we walked off the pitch, I saw a group of people gathered by the players' tunnel. They were shouting and waving wooden signs. "Who are they?" I asked Bullock. "Protesters," he replied. "Protesters," I said. "Against what?" "Against footballers," he said. "You and me. They're angry that we're playing football instead of fighting." I looked at the protesters as we passed. I understood why they wanted men to fight, young men like me. But this was my debut as a professional footballer. Why should war come between me and my big chance? A war that would be over in weeks. Then a woman stepped out of the crowd and reached out to give me something.
What Jack was given on the day of his debut was a cartoon that called footballers cowards. All over the country, women and girls were handing white feathers to men who were not in uniform. The feathers were a symbol of cowardice, and women hoped to shame men into signing up. In Scotland, one woman wrote to an Edinburgh newspaper. She said that if the Heart of Midlothian football team was going to keep playing, then it should change its name to the White Feathers of Midlothian. In fact, 16 players from Heart of Midlothian signed up to the 16th Royal Scots. 5 more tried to join up, but were not found fit to fight. Players from other Scottish teams joined them, along with hundreds of fans. Footballers had well and truly joined the war effort. The 16th Royal Scots lost 3/4 of their men in the Battle of the Somme in 1916. They are commemorated by this memorial in Edinburgh. Over the Line pays tribute to the story of another battalion of footballers who switched from playing for their country to fighting for it on the battlefields of World War I, and of one particular hero. And Jack and his comrades got to play out there in France in the Flanders Cup, designed to give the soldiers something to keep their minds off the horrors they saw every day.
For 90 minutes I forgot about the shell fire, the rats, the Germans, the rain, the cold, and the fear I felt when I was above the parapet, listening to the night. Staffordshire Regiment 0, Footballers Battalion 6. Now I wanted more.